ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie 28 Days Later. But of course, before we get to any of that, I am joined today by no hesitation, Nathaniel Gingrich.
We gotta go. No hesitation. No nothing.
No
Movement.
breathing.
Movement is life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it like Midsommar, where like you can't stop dancing or you die? Isn't that how that last scene goes?
No,
Or it's
no.
Yeah, I'm not
the
quite
game,
sure
right?
that's how it went. Yeah, it was a morbid film, but I don't think it was the ultimate.
Well, it was still like a dance till you can't anymore, dance to
Yeah.
drop type competition there for the
Absolutely.
May Queen or whatever her name was.
Yep.
Or whatever her name was, yeah. That's how I see Nathaniel in my mind sometimes, just dancing.
Got a flower crown.
Till you,
running around.
yeah, got a flower crown. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Need to rewatch that movie, but it's not a good time of year to do it. I need it to be like, give me like maybe April. Maybe April's a good Midsommar month.
I agree, man.
Springtime.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe you should wait till the midsummer.
Maybe.
Also true.
Do you guys? How do you guys pronounce it? I know we've had this review. I think, are we all Midsommar here? Are we Midsummer? Like, I get corrected, but I'm like, I don't think you guys are correcting me the way you think you're correcting me, because I say Midsommar.
I feel like I
Midsummer?
try to say Midsommar more often than not, but
Yeah.
You keep
probably
using
don't
that
have
word.
right
and
dialect on that.
I do not think it means what you think it means.
What do you say, Nathaniel? You have that English degree. Can you tell me?
I mean, probably in the English translation it'd be midsummer, but or like midsummer. Like you'd probably. I think we hit the midsummer like too hard.
Sure. Yeah.
And the R. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. In Danish, it's probably midsummer. Like,
Yeah, some weird inflections going on, I'm sure. Anyway, also joining us today is 10 Seconds Tyler Vidalis.
We only have 10 seconds.
I mean, it's a
Jesus.
quick turnaround, man.
True.
Did I just start counting down behind you there after you said that? What was that?
Is that Siri?
No, I was trying to pull the movie up because I rented it from YouTube, but it doesn't have it anymore.
Boo.
So I was like, I know I can obviously log in to Blake's account,
Sure.
but I'm just like, yeah, it's not worth it at this point. I'll just sit here and watch Tim the Tap Man while we talk about 28 days later.
We rented it somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah, we rented it on YouTube. I'm just saying,
are we out of the 48 hours?
Yeah.
Isn't that the worst part of the rentals? Well, like you rent it and then like you have it for what do they? I think they give you 72 hours.
So
48
right?
most of the time.
But it's once you actually start the shit.
Yeah,
I think it's once you
down
press
even
rent.
smaller.
No, it's when you start it.
Once you start it, yeah. I think if you
Fellas?
rent it, I think they give you 5 days.
Not to sound crazy, but I have discovered the library where you can rent things for free for several weeks.
That sounds like so
point.
much effort. I'm not going to it.
Well, see, this is where you're wrong, Adam, because it turns out that the library is a half mile down the road, and I never realized for the 5 years that I've lived here.
No way. That's funny. Now that is hilarious.
It's not the like main branch of our library, which I kind of actually prefer too. It's kind of like the north branch too, so it's like I can like
Sure.
I feel like I could definitely like run down
It's like a
there on a
satellite
Monday
location.
morning, yeah, and like put my requests in, and by Wednesday or something, I'll have my movies I could pick up for the weekend. So,
well, do you not have an online portal? Because the Arlington Heights Library has
so
like, this
I think they're
portal
transitioning
request it
too.
for pickup.
I think they're transitioning too, but I'll be honest, it's making me question all my streaming services here. I mean, I've got a DVD player, I've got a TV, and the library.
It's not a bad point.
They don't charge me nothing, so I mean, I could
all those Netflix originals, Nathaniel. What are you gonna do without them?
Yeah, wow, darn. I could watch The Electric State, or I could watch Terrifier 3, which they have there on 4K that I can rent for 3 days. So like,
that's beautiful.
That's not bad.
So I'm telling you, man,
that's not bad.
The library might be where it's at.
Yeah, I actually need to capitalize on that myself. As I told you, I got a library card. Was that maybe 2 months ago or so? And the library, the insert where I live, library is actually right across the street. And to my understanding, I think it's actually one of the better libraries in like the Chicagoland suburbs. Kind of from like what I've been reading online, they say it's a very nice one. So I spent some time in there, but I haven't like deep dive what movies I can get out of it. So I think I'm gonna have to do that next time.
Yeah, Leah and I have been talking about getting a library card as well.
It's time, folks.
No better time than the present.
Fuck the corporations. Wow, let's get the libraries going.
The pendulum's swinging. The pendulum's swinging, fellas. We're pushing it.
I bet if we put all of our movie collections together, we could have a pretty good little library we could start ourselves.
Now we're thinking out the box.
We start our own Blockbuster kind of deal.
It's probably time for the video store.
Come in and rent our DVDs from us.
It's only going to be DVD quality too. We can rent out 720p LCD TVs.
I just have the image of like us pulling it up to the front and like, we don't carry these out to the car for you, and then the two people like have to look at each other like, huh?
Or like those.
What are we gonna do?
Well, the tube TV substitute teacher express package where it was all on the one cart, and you had the TV, the VHS player, and like the power strip all on the cart, and it was all like belt buckled together, and then they just roll it into the classroom. We should just sell those.
Here's something you haven't thought about in a while. Running off of that thought is the overhead projector that had the little arm light thing.
How wrong you are,
was
sir.
Was that part of your school experience?
I live.
Yes.
I think about the overhead projector every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Adam,
to this day.
What do you think about it? Adam's got to be probably like you got to be like the last generation of people.
100%
actually part of their school.
100%, because I really only had that through elementary school.
Sure.
And then I remember in middle school, everyone started getting like the touch whiteboards where like there was a sensor on the side of the whiteboard, and then there was like a pen that you had to like sync, and it never worked right because this was 2012. That shit was not way too far, way too. Right.
And then some kid used a permanent marker on it, and all of them were fucked as well too because they were all ugly.
Yeah. And then I did have one teacher in like 8th grade, one of my math teachers, Mr. Zimmerman. He would refuse to use one of those whiteboard things, and I think he even had one in his classroom, and he refused to use it, so he kept his old overhead projector with the handwritten notes and stuff.
Resist, Mr. Zimmerman.
Yeah, right.
Reject modernity.
And just the mad deck of like the plastic pages, whatever.
Oh my gosh! And then you have to unroll it and spray the whole thing down, and it would be like a detention assignment for like whoever. Yeah.
What a time.
I am for sure the last generation to really go through that though, because I was like, it was on the way out when I was going through even.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
How many
I never saw the whiteboards. I only had overhead projectors.
How many elementary school teachers are just half blind now because they're just staring at that thing for multiple hours a day?
They don't give you hazard pay for that. That's right. They're all retired by the age of like 58.
Just in a dark room staring at a bright light for several hours a day.
That can't be good.
Also joining us today is big British BlakeHolder.
Hey, what up? What up?
Very British movie we have today.
You what, mate?
I wasn't anticipating it. I didn't realize what I was in for.
Yeah.
All these English folk.
Yeah, that's Cillian Murphy's Irish.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about this one. I know this is Adam's first watch, right?
This is.
So yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts, and I want to hear what Adam says. And
unless you have any situations from your past week or anything you want to talk about, Blake, we can just get into the movie. But I don't want to step on your opportunity to talk to the audience here. Obviously, Nathaniel and Tyler get their chance. But
yeah, I appreciate it. I guess one thing I will do to kind of loop it into back row lore per se, is due to Tay and Nathaniel running into each other this weekend. Tay is one of my former friends, it's not a voice, excuse me, a name you've heard on this pod.
Former friend.
Oh, did I say that? Sorry. Current friend.
And current friend, former roommate.
There we go. Thank you. and a name we've heard on the pod a handful of times. So they ran into each other over the weekend. So that was pretty funny and gave us the infamous Brad Pitt Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Of like you start pointing, snapping your finger.
Yep.
And to bring it to this story, he loves this movie. In fact, both of these movies, and this is something he's been asking me to put on pod, no bullshit, fellas, probably since like the end of year 1, if not like episode 10 being recorded. He's like, can you guys please do 28 days later, 28 days later? And funny enough, the time he runs into Nathaniel, we're recorded it. So look at that.
There it is.
That's funny.
Universe was meant to be.
It was.
Now, do we do the entire podcast in British accents? Like,
no,
is that
probably you don't.
I need to be 2 or 3 more beers deep for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I can't be doing that on a Monday night, so we're gonna go ahead and just calmly proceed normally.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Okay, Nathaniel, we're gonna go ahead and get into our main review segment. Nathaniel, if listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
Yeah, folks, if you're new, hi. It's nice to have you. If you've just forgotten how the review segment works, or it's been a while since you've been back here, welcome back. The review segment, it's split into 2 sections. There's the non-spoiler section, then there's the spoiler section. That's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over who wrote it, who directed it, who's in it, all that good stuff. We'll read the IMDb summary, go around the squadron, decide if it's a yes or no for recommendations. It's got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. You guys know this. So from then on, after we have decided if we recommend it, it'll be spoiler time. We'll have all those spoiler times marked in the show notes. So you, if you don't want to have this spoiled for you for a 23-year-old movie, you can have that marked out for you. But then after that, even if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, come back and check the show notes and see what time our Entropy list takes place, which is when we rank everything we've watched on the podcast on the Entropy list to see where it all lines up. Adam, with that being said, tell me about 28 Days Later.
I would love to. This is a new movie, of course. Rated R. With
it is not a new movie.
1 hour.
Wait a minute,
Not
brother.
a new movie.
We're
Not
all
a
over
new
the
movie,
place.
of course. Released in 2002.
Brand new movie. We've time traveled back. Adam's 2.
It's a brand new movie to me. All right.
There we go.
Movie to me. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes and an IMDb rating of 7.5 out of 10. It is directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. A fan, a pod favorite, Alex Garland, I would say. The cast includes Cillian Murphy, of course. Cillian. Have we had this
I
debate?
believe it's
I
Cillian.
always thought it was Cillian.
I've always said it is Cillian.
Did too.
Yeah.
And then I saw someone calling him Cillian the other day, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It starts with a K, right? I mean, I know the English language is stupid. Oh, it is?
It actually starts with a C, yeah.
Well,
so I'm like,
I see. I'm gonna go, but it's Colin. It's not Solon, and like it's Cody, not Sodi. I think it's Cillian.
Are we sure it's not Solon?
Yeah, or Connor. Like
it's Nathaniel, not Nathaniel.
But no, what I'm saying is the Irish names is generally it's generally a hard C, not a.
I agree with you. I'm gonna stick with Cillian
unlike
Murphy
like Cisco or something like that, where you get into like more Spanish and that kind of thing, and it kind of gets a little bit
if you're
more.
Listening,
Cisco from like the Thong Song.
Well, him, but yeah.
Do you even know what the Thong Song is?
I'm well aware. Yes.
I was like, I don't know if Adam does.
The thong. No.
What's also funny is I think Cisco, the artist, I think he spells his name with an S.
Yes, he does.
I was like,
He does.
I don't know if Adam knows that song. Adam's got to know it. I'm sure once he plays it.
I've probably heard it. Do I need to play it?
Only if you want to.
I recognize this music video. I'll play it later, and we'll come back to it.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah, you'll play it later.
All right. Okay. The cast includes Cillian Murphy. Naomi Harris is just also here casually, returning to the pod from her role in No Time to Die. I don't know if we've had anything else of hers on here. She's in Moonlight as well. But
or Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't think
we did that.
Or any of the other Bonds. To your point, she's in No Time to Die, Skyfall.
Morning Burner.
Yeah, she's great. Let's see. We have
the other big one.
Noah Huntley. Is that the dude?
Christopher Eccleston is your big guy, and Brendan Gleeson.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, sir. And Megan Burns plays Hannah.
Sure.
Pretty big role here too. The IMDb summary reads as follows: 4 weeks after a mysterious, incurable virus spreads throughout the United Kingdom, a handful of survivors try to find sanctuary. It's a great summary. It's actually very, very good. Gives you some intrigue, gives you some information, gets you on your way. Quick and easy. I like it. Thumbs up on that. It's non-spoiler or the IMDb summary. But yeah, it's as it says, zombie apocalypse movie, and it is 4 weeks after the outbreak. Not much more to say.
I was gonna say it picks up pretty quick.
It picks up pretty quick. As first time viewer here, hello.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
There we go.
And I thoroughly see how every zombie thing that I've watched has it been influenced by this, whether I realized it or not, and I did not.
Yep.
Even down to this being almost feeling like shot for shot The Walking Dead pilot, kind of. Because I was I was like had that be a core thing for zombie apocalypse as Walking Dead, obviously, and then this is actually just the same intro to that movie or to that show, just done 2 decades or a decade earlier.
Yeah, a decade before. Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. Makes me almost be like, damn, that thing just ripped it off entirely.
Genuinely after rewatching this, I was like, fuck, I need to check that, and I did. And Walking Dead came out the year after this, as a comic. After? Yeah, it came out. It started in 2003. Okay. Yeah,
got it. Yeah, that's funny because the comic has the same start as well.
Yep.
So that's odd. Robert Kirkman might have to answer some questions. But either way, very good movie. There's a reason why this influenced so many zombie films that followed it. I think it does so many things very well. I think and like any good zombie movie or story, it is really not the zombies that scare you. It's the humans in the environment that are really the big threat. So it follows that as well. But yeah, man, I don't know. There's not much more to say because I kind of want to get into spoilers a little bit more.
Yeah, fair.
But I had a good time with this movie, quite a lot.
Yeah, man, that's really good to hear. You're always the first person once we get new or unseen horror movies by one of us.
Or this is the genre of the podcast where it's just 3 guys and we show our young friend the movies that we saw growing up.
Right. So it's always good when Adam catches one and he's like, you know what? I actually like this. And
Crank is not that movie.
Valid. But you can see the how influential, right? Like this film was to the basically revival of the kind of the zombie subgenre of horror, as well as some twist into that, and maybe it's not a twist of the infected versus zombies, right? It's a 20-something-year-old movie, but this was one of the first to kind of reinvent that wheel, right? Of not necessarily doing the undead, because it's slow-moving zombies.
It's not until Dawn of the Dead where the zombies are officially fast, right? This was kind of, if I remember correctly, this was the first one where they were like,
to my understanding,
zombies. What if they ran?
Yeah. Which is infinitely more scary. Now,
it's
because of this.
Yeah, it's the thing of what's the scariest movie of all time? Well, maybe if we put a giant fucking shark in the water. It's that level of that's an obvious idea we should have done at some point.
Yeah. And this is so it's so good, and it reinvented the wheel that necessarily wasn't broken by any means, but once you think about it, like, yeah, it's such a better concept of like zombies being able to run to the point where now, or infected being able to run, where like now watching slow moving zombies like does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's interesting, man. But we'll jump into a lot into spoilers. But yeah, this is one I highly recommend. I've seen it countless times. I actually have one of my first memories of watching a horror movie in theaters. It isn't this. It's a little too young, right? It's 2002, but it's actually seen 28 weeks later with my dad.
Sure.
So yeah, this one hits home to me a lot, right? Because we like went home, then we watched this afterwards, and I've seen this countless times. So yeah, I love this movie. This is a great movie. And then once we'll get into spoilers, we'll talk about actual videography, right, and how it's shot. Where this, as Nathaniel said earlier, this movie is like a time capsule. This is a time machine back to watching something on television in fucking 2002, and that makes it even that much better. So yeah, that's kind of my brief thoughts. Shot really well, and we'll dig deep into it from there. Nathaniel, Ty?
Right, really quick before the next person speaks, I just played Thong Song for like 30 seconds.
Please tell me about that song.
I have
for
sure.
It is, at least from like Pitch Perfect or something. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I've heard it before. I can't remember where. It might have even been like a TikTok song at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
This or like something has been spoofed.
It's like a meme song before there were memes. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This does kind of remind me of the intro to Tropic Thunder. With
Booty Sweat, Bust a Nut.
Yeah, a little bit of that going on.
What while you're on that, what year is that song? I'm guessing 01.
I think 01.
I can't tell you for sure because this is just saying that it was released on YouTube 15 years ago. Let me look it up on
1999.
Okay.
99? Wow.
All right. We can pause on Thong Song. Ty, Nathaniel.
Ty, you want to go first? Or you want me to take it?
No, go ahead, bud.
Yeah. So like, this is one of those movies that I think I heard about before I saw anything to do with or anything like that, but was kind of that because this is 2002, so this is 4th grade for me. So it's kind of like right in that thing of like, I definitely wasn't watching it, would be too scared to even come close to it, but like had friends or older brothers who definitely had. And I think it was probably around high school that I probably saw this for the first time. At which point, I want to say I watched this and maybe like 2 years later, like Danny Boyle comes out with Slumdog Millionaire, and wins the Oscar. And yeah, it's just, you can see so much of it from the start as well too. I think this is post Trainspotting as well too. So this is him with a little bit of juice at this point as well. Crazy to me how this is shot in 2001 in comparison to 2025 like movies, where this movie was made for $8 million, shot on consumer grade DV, and looks better than half the shit that we have coming out today. Even in its standard 480p fucking like vision.
Yeah,
I would take this over
the way they
so
shoot
many
some of these
things
scenes, man. And
so just from the start where he's at the bank of telephones and there's like he goes to 3 different telephones. First one, he holds it up, cuts to a medium shot. Second one, holds it up, cuts to a long shot. Third one, holds it up, cuts to an extreme long shot, and you're just like, perfect, like chef's kiss. You are using the camera and the image to tell a story. You're not just recording someone. Like yes.
Yeah, and there's so many powerful, to your point, like these large open scale shots of London,
100%,
which look phenomenal. Like, and for context now, since I've been there, I have an even further appreciation of those shots when you realize how fucking big and busy London
and how
is.
how empty they got those shots. I don't know how they did it.
Phenomenal, dude.
I was thinking
I don't know how they did that.
For this movie cost $8 million to make.
Exactly.
I have no idea how the fuck they did this.
For sure. I totally agree. this is like, this is cinematic, like masterpiece. This is engineering.
It genuinely
Really-
is
really
like. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, back to your point, of like the different shots. To me, more it not only was camera work and cinematography and shot choice, that kind of thing, but also like the film editing,
Mhm.
miles
Yeah.
different. Doesn't even like can't even compare to what we would see nowadays in terms. This
Yeah.
movie would not be edited the same way in 2025. Like the pacing is just so much slower.
Mhm.
Everything actually they're okay like taking their time and breathing with some of these shots, and like
Mhm.
even watching it, I am like, man, I wish things would move faster. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, no one had anywhere to be in 2002. It's okay to let these shots hang for a few extra
Yeah.
moments. Nowadays, it's so quick. The edits are just so much easier to make and so much faster. That was another big takeaway for me.
Yeah, this would just end up being like a needle drop in a fucking bloodbath.
Speaking of which, also opens with one of my favorite, like the background music, the soundtrack. That's one of my favorite songs ever. It's East Hastings by Godspeed You Black Emperors, off an album called the F sharp, A sharp, and Infinity, and it is quite literally just like almost 45 minutes on each side of just like that kind of like mood post-apocalyptic music. Like it'll have that kind of like really driving beat, and then all of a sudden it'll like cut out and they'll just be like, it sounds like people are standing around like a fire and something like that, and then there'll be like violins in the background, and like it sounds like the apocalypse. Like it's crazy, but it just fits so well within it. And it's again one of those things where like, man, 2002, these guys they were on it. They were making a movie, man.
Yeah, this has got one of the all-time like horror scores, in my opinion, like come from this series, right? In my opinion, I think you got the Halloweens, of course, and I'm honestly hard-fetched to find something better than this. Once I watched this, I was like, oh man, this is so good. I forgot.
I mean, it's a huge part of horror, like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Halloween's, Psycho, Jaws, some of the crazy, like most iconic themes of all time. The Shining, people know
Shining.
as well too. Like just music is such a huge part of scary stuff. I think this movie and kind of what Adam was saying earlier, it's so British. And so it feels so alien as well too, I think, to an American audience. Where like there's even like I think it becomes more of a point in the second one where like the outbreak of the rage virus is really only contained to Britain. So like it's like the rest of the world is kind of watching them break down, kind of thing, and that's not really a point that's touched on until later in the film itself, and even expanded further in the second movie. But yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, did you want to? Yeah, well, I'm sorry, we've all been cutting you off, man. I think everyone's eager to talk about this motherfucker.
Oh yeah, you guys are good. I mean, there's really not a ton left to say before we get into spoilers, but yeah, I mean, obviously, great film. I think I probably saw this when I was in, I don't know, 8th grade, going into like freshman year. So definitely didn't catch it right when, when I'm thinking of the thong song 1999.
28 days later is 02.
Yeah, no, I still would have probably seen that. That probably puts me at like what, 12? Yeah. So that I still probably would have seen this like 15, 16, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16, yeah. But either way, I think not a movie that I watch very often, but have seen a handful of times, and I think it's one of those ones that I'll probably keep that way because it's just something that is it lives in a pocket for me where it's like so good to the point where I don't have to overwatch it. I'm not like obsessive about it, but when I do watch it and obviously forget about it, it's one of those ones that I'm just like, man, this is phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, camera work is outstanding. Obviously I would love to see kind of remastered version of this.
I hear you.
I just don't think you'll get it. There were some times where you wish you could see a little bit more, or maybe not have as much graining, but it also does add an effect to that makes it so nostalgic and so good. So yeah, part of me doesn't ever want to see it change. But if you are going to watch this for the first time, or if you haven't seen it in a while, please, for the love of God, use subtitles. It is tough to get through without, especially because the audio is a touch on the lighter side from a recording standpoint. That could have been YouTube, but I mean, YouTube's always had good rentals, so or purchases. So I don't know if it's that or just the overall mixing that happened when this came out. But overall, killer movie. Love everybody in this. Running zombies is absolutely terrifying, and we can get into it.
Yeah. All
But
right.
I'm a recommend. Recommends all around.
Oh,
Yeah,
facts.
recommend all around. If you've not
Facts.
seen this movie already, go and watch it. It's definitely worth watching. But then while you're doing that, or before you, what am I going with here? If you haven't watched it though, we are gonna go and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen 28 Days Later, go ahead and check the episode description. I have left a timestamp down there for you where you can skip over the spoilers, and you'll be taken to the ranking of our movie up upon our entropy list. Spoiler time, Nathaniel.
Spoilers. Shit goes down.
It does go down.
Yeah, man. So this
It's so
along
weird.
with the second one
Yeah.
kicks off immediately.
Yeah, it's
Right.
And like I do think this movie is so iconic in the first 45 that people do forget the last kind of hour 15 or so where it slows down and becomes much more about the kind of soldiers in the house and stuff like that. And like even that's so
arguably more scary in that back half.
Yeah, and even that's so steeped in this like particularly British, but what has become more American, I feel like, kind of nature of like, okay, we're going out and like they're at this big manor house, and then like there's the soldier who Christopher Eccleston's character who's like in charge, but like not really kind of thing. You can already see things are going wrong, and like then there's just the three normal people who show up, and then oh yeah, no, this is terrible, and it very quickly becomes the who's the real monsters here and all that good stuff. But it's just done so well that like I just feel like you float right on through.
Yeah. I mean, I think it. I'm just saying, man, those are all good points, and it jumps off immediately, right? So it opens, for those that don't know, out the gate, right? It opens in a laboratory where the monkeys are infected with the virus. And I was hooked immediately, and I was able to quote it too, because I've seen this a handful of times, but I probably haven't seen this since, ironically, probably COVID. I think is when I went back and actually watched both of these. And they're like, no, like the monkeys are infected with the virus. Like you can't let them out, right? And he's like, what are they infected with? It's like rage, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm hooked again. And it kicks off instantly.
Such a
man.
great
and the fact that this virus can spread that quickly, dude. It's like, I mean, it's not even minutes. It's within seconds.
Yeah, it's like boom.
So you can see
you
why
got
it was
it.
just,
You're done.
Yeah, you're cooked. Yeah. So you can see how it was able just to cause widespread damage, right? Like in a matter of fucking hours or days.
Yeah, the concept of like, hey, these aren't zombies that like have to die and be born again. It's just you're there. You're
if you get blood on you, if you get saliva on you, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And like
yep, you can't ingest a single bit of it.
Yeah, it's 10 seconds at the most, and you're not yourself anymore, right?
Right. Yeah. And then from there, then you get the cut right of the monkeys attacking the people in the laboratory from the people letting them out. Cut 28 days later, then we now insert Cillian Murphy, which
full
I always
frontal
forget that this is
Cillian
actually
Murphy.
him ass. Yeah, full ass naked. I forgot about that. I always forget about that. I know he's like naked, but I forgot he's actually like dick and balls naked on screen.
Yeah, interesting choice.
Yeah, I'm into it.
So that one I was like,
not something Walking Dead mimicked. That's all original. That's all original right there.
Right. We're never getting away with this in 2025, but we
no way.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
You could.
So then he wakes up, walks the streets, right, fellas, trying to figure out what's going on. He's awakened from some sort of I guess we'll just say from coma, for lack of a better term, for a cliche.
Yeah, he
right?
said
Wakes up, have no idea what the fuck's going on. And there's nobody around, and then that's where you just get these beautiful shots we're talking about of what is it? It's Big Ben. You get the shots of like the Piccadilly Circus area. You just get so many shots where it's like, I don't think we'll ever get shots like that again, to be totally transparent.
Well, like, and it's one of those things like nowadays they would just shoot it and then CGI out all the people, right?
Yeah,
and
right. That's what I'm saying.
There'd be something that like just wouldn't seem like, but it's something about the fact that it's on DV, it's on handheld, you can just tell
Makes
that
that much more eerie.
They either like moved people out of the way just barely enough or something that it just like, there's an extra level of realism to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then you insert those shots, and then and it kicks off when he's reading newspapers. He's starting trying to piece together what's going on. He does what anybody would do at that time before he starts realizing what's going on. Finds a shit ton of money. Starts picking it up, not knowing it means nothing.
So
right now, that's
what I do want to go to. Adam, since this was your first time watching, how about when he goes in the church and those?
Yeah.
Crazy. That was actually probably the scariest scene of the whole movie. Was
really
even scariest shot for me was maybe when he says hello and the guy's head snaps back.
Yeah,
and he's like,
that's so good.
Yeah. It's
and the look on his face is just completely inhuman too. Like, and you can immediately just kind of recognize like, oh shit, like you're in trouble.
Yeah,
it's not right. That's not and then you hear the footsteps of the priest.
Yeah.
Right. And then he opens the door, and then he's just kind of like,
yeah, it's good stuff.
I don't know. And then boom, the movie kicks off, and dude, it's
a great.
The way they do the infected in this is so good. Between that scene and the hello, fast forwarding all the way to the end, I think they have one of the most effective jump scares. It's so classic, and it almost has like a cut of audio right before it, so it almost like it's a delay. But it's when Mailer finally gets out, and they have the gentleman standing by the glass window, right? Then it like cuts to him, and it's like, it was like a delay, and then he breaks through, and it's so good, man. And it's a
good shot.
Even that shot, just the eyes of everybody infected just look so inhumane, and goes to a further layer of movie posters. This has one of the all-time great movie posters. Of just like a biohazard with the eyes. It's so good. So good. But yeah, anybody else, please feel free to jump in because I'll fucking talk forever about this thing.
No, I think it was an interesting watching this because it's 2 hours long?
Yeah, I think it's about hour 50 something. Yeah,
153. And I think Tyler and I watched this together, and we were maybe an hour 10 in, and we paused it for a second. I was like, shit, man, we still got 40 minutes left. It's like, damn, like this is dragging. But then that was before we arrived, or maybe just as we arrived at the manor, or the sanctuary, whatever you want to call it. And that was actually ended up being a much more interesting piece of the movie than I anticipated. I expected this last 40 minutes to drag. But I was like, wait, this actually might be the most interesting part of the movie. Is where we arrive at here, because you don't really fully. I don't know. I guess I'm just so used to all these zombie tropes by now, as we already discussed, kind of stemming from this movie, where I'm waiting for, it's like, okay, like the dad's gonna die, and then we're gonna be done, and they're gonna have to go find some place. And I don't know, I was just so ready for it to be like, all right, well, we have to adopt this girl now, and like that's the ending kind of thing.
Yeah.
That, there you go. But for that to then lead into, you arrive at the sanctuary, which, like, by the way, before we even go past that, the timing is so heartbreaking, where the dad dies.
Yeah.
From the people, like from the sanctuary people, like it's just such horrible timing, because you know that dad had like such hope, and obviously they
solid guy
kind of lost. He kind of lost his mind a little bit on that front. So that was very upsetting. But then like that whole kind of going back to that house, and then you're like, what you're kind of feeling out what's going on here, and then you realize it's like, oh, it's all men here, and it's not what they advertise, and you're kind of like, oh, this is not gonna go obviously how I wanted it or how I expected to. And that's where I think that second half of the movie is where I really felt Alex Garland's writing presence, where I'm like, you motherfucker, you sneaky son of a bitch, because he just forced his way in of like, presenting you all these like gender norms or like what ifs and like or like, the apocalypse is happening, but these boys are still playing soldier, like they're still playing command, they're still following orders, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like
I
very interesting.
I think Christopher Eccleston's such a good actor as well too, who plays the commanding officer, and like he's never
and he delivers the best line in this.
Man,
the best one-liner.
He's never interested in playing an easy character. That guy, like he is 100% all about it. What's the line you're talking about, Blake?
When he finally indulges to Jim or Cillian Murphy's character that I promised him women, where he like takes them to the other room separately, and that's when it hits you like you're like, oh
fuck, yeah, and then Jim immediately starts
this
running
is not
after
gonna go
him.
the way it's gonna go, So yeah, that's gold. I do want to jump in here on Adam's point, and I think now the more I've watched this, and I've been able to kind of do some research as well. But as far as something I was kind of thinking, I was like, maybe am I thinking alone on this, and do some research. I ultimately don't think that any of those people are actual soldiers.
Oh,
right. I think that's kind of people who just came across like a base like that and kind of took some of the flights.
If it was set in America, 100%, that would be like what happened. Yeah. But
because it's like, I don't know, man. They once things go awry, they fold way too quickly. There's like no plan. You know what I mean? The guy gets in there. It's bad. That just doesn't seem like high trained combatants, right? So I'm thinking maybe that's just lore to me. Or my internal lore that I'm trying to push on. But I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe these guys, I don't know. They let the guy go when they have the hostage, right? Shoots him when Cillian Murphy escapes, right? They shoot the hostage. The guy almost shoots the fucking guy next to him.
Yeah.
They start arguing. Just doesn't seem very tactical like.
Blake, did you ever see Dog Soldiers?
I have not, brother.
Tyler, have you seen it?
Toy soldiers, yeah, for sure.
Not toy soldiers.
No.
Small soldiers. You mean
small soldiers? Yeah.
No, dog soldiers.
No, I have not.
All right, that might be one we get on the pod. Same year.
Dog soldiers.
Yeah, but like it's this crew of like
dogs.
Like a private or no, it's like a platoon of soldiers that are like trying to take out or find these guys, and then it turns out they're a bunch of werewolves.
That's awesome.
It rules. Like it also is a British underseen movie from around that time that fucking rocks as well too.
Nathaniel's like 5 words: Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey, werewolves.
I mean, are you telling me you'd say no to that?
I would not. I wouldn't say no to anything that leads with Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey. All right,
that's valid.
Shout out Nick Sadoff too, by the way, who rewatched Reign of Fire, I believe, on the plane flight back from Belgium, and called me immediately afterwards to tell me how much a masterpiece it is.
It's up there, man.
What a guy. But yeah, man, it's got a lot of informative scenes, right? I mean, I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, I know this is the first time I saw it in real time where you get like the point of view shot of like the zombie per se, where they have the Cillian Murphy character. He's kind of like, he's got the candle lit.
I mean, I would
the zombie sees the candle and point of view, fast moving camera breaks through.
Comes through the wall or the window, I should say. Yeah, I mean, I think in my viewing experience, that's the first time I can remember seeing that style of shot and everything. And that is that whole scene where he's in the house early on in the movie and they come through the window at night and all of a sudden and then they're just there. That was like I don't know if that was the trailer or I saw that clip, but like that for me is what I thought of this movie for the longest time.
Sure. Yeah.
It was just that little sequence.
Yeah. And that's in essence, once Cillian Murphy meets the 2 other people involved, Naomi Harris character, and I forgot the other guy. He ends up dying rather soon. But this film shows so well like how quickly like shit hits the fan, right? Where it's like everything's so quiet, peaceful, candlelit, glass broke, then it's like full-fledged war.
Nightmare.
And Cillian Murphy, see, that's kind of his first real interaction with the infected. He has the one in the church, right, where he hits the guy with the bag and runs away.
And then they blow up the gas station and throw the Molotov cocktails at people. Yeah.
But this is kind of his first real action. Like, oh, okay, like this is really real, right? And the other character, the person who was previously Naomi Harris's sidekick, he gets infected, or he gets bit. And like she just fucking kills him.
Yeah, he eats him with a machete.
Yeah, and it's brutal too. It's not like she like mercy kills him. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you have no time to mercy kill. They said the infection takes 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds or something like that. And she just fucking like hacks him alive with a machete, and it's so brutal. And yeah, man, and that's when you know you're in for some shit.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that like somebody sits there, watches that happen, especially with like having no concept of like what's actually going on still, and you're like, yeah, cool, I'll hang out with this chick. Seems legit.
Yeah. This is.
I mean, what else are you gonna do though?
I know. I mean, obviously you got to get a pretty quick grasp of the situation, but it's still like you obviously knew they were traveling together, and she's like, well, she just fucked that guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she killed that guy effortlessly. And this whole movie is really. I know you said it kicked off kind of The Walking Dead the same way too, but this is honestly like one of the worst positions to like be in. Right?
Oh yeah.
Wake up out of a procedure, no idea what's going on. The entire city of London is empty, and there's like some infected people running around. You know how fucking terrifying that is as a concept?
Crazy.
Yeah, horrible, man. And yeah, it's the fast moving zombies. We talked about that. There is one thing I do want to give credit for as well, is that they make the infected. They're significantly more intelligent than you would think. Right. So it almost seems like they're not necessarily just the slow brain dead zombies, but even when Cillian Murphy, when he finally has his first kill, right, he was always hesitant to kill people. He kills the little boy when they stop for gas.
Yeah.
And the little boy's like talking while he's enraged. He says, I hate you.
Yeah, and even that's like a whole thing too. Like, of course, in the Alex Garland movie, Cillian Murphy's first kill has got to be a fucking kid. Like, that's,
right?
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're not gonna make it through this without some torture.
Yeah, and it's so good, and that it's the one time you ever hear the infected like actually say something, where the kid's on the ground like I hate you, and it's so good, man. It's adds another layer to the infected that they are. Mentally, they are somewhat still there, right? And you can even see that through the mailer infected character guy who they chain up to try to do the test subject, which is on paper a good idea, but also kind of incredibly fucking stupid to keep one of them chained up, like in the event something goes wrong. But you can see that there, where Cillian Murphy finally. He goes through the whole heroic arc. He comes back. He's basically targeting the tables, and he shoots one of the guns he steals from the soldiers to free Mailer. And you think, like in any zombie infected ordeal, like the actual presence of the infected person would probably just go after Cillian Murphy, as he's the closest person there, right, and try to climb the wall. But like he doesn't do that. He runs in the house,
right,
and tries to find other people. So yeah, they're way more intelligent than you give credit for once you start like digging into the lore. And yeah, this is gold, man. I honestly love this movie.
One of the things that you may have caught that I always thought was really interesting is just going off the intelligence thing of these zombies in particular to some of the other ones that are out there and just other universes is I remember this is probably like my, I don't know, third or fourth watch when I like heard or kind of picked up on the little boy zombie actually like talking.
That's exactly what Blake was just saying.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know if you were. Yeah. Well, anyways, it was a mistake. It's a recording.
Okay.
It's a recording error.
Okay.
So sorry. I was up. I had to go fix something for Leah, so I didn't hear the first
Gotcha.
part
No
of that
worries, no worries,
conversation.
brother.
I just kind of heard kind of the back half of it. But yeah, it was a recording mistake. I looked into that. Like I said, my third or fourth time, and I was like, do they talk? Is this like a different?
Yeah.
Because obviously, the running is different than some of the things that you've seen and everything like that. So, it was a recording error, and was not supposed to happen. In case anybody was wondering.
Well, the movie's not perfect, but it's still.
No, but it does make you think.
Yeah. Well, and to exactly what Blake said, I think it does add a little bit of element to it if they have this crazy rage, but they also have at least a little bit of a brain behind it as well too.
For sure.
Also, shout out British people for like. Obviously, everyone in this is like actor handsome, but they're not like gorgeous. Like no,
Yeah,
right, Cillian Murphy's like a model, but like, and Naomi Ackie obviously
Naomi
as well
Harris.
too. Or Naomi Ackie, obviously she's supermodel hot as well too. But like,
Right.
Brendan Gleeson more or less looks like a normal dude. Like, and most of the rest of everyone there, they're like, you believe that I feel like that adds a little element of realism. Is that they're not Hollywood handsome.
Yeah. Yep. Grounds the story a little better.
And there's something about that DV, man. It looks so good. Like, and with the
dude, you can't talk about it
with
enough.
the lighting and everything about it, like, and just the fact that like Danny Boyle's like, yeah, I've got this small camera. It means I could put it anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like I have to just be boring with it.
there, a shot I really like is once they finally meet Hannah, and I forgot the father's character's name, right? Where they finally like get up the apartment stairs, they get in, and then they go to the balcony after like in the next morning.
Yeah.
They go to the balcony, and the bottom like 90% of the screen is just a shot of like the balcony of the city of London. And the top is like somebody reading a book. I think it's the dad like sitting there reading a book. It's just it's a great shot. It's
transition.
it's hard to explain, but it looks so good. And there's kind of somebody just like speaking in the background. I believe it's Hannah talking about how they have to work together. Opposed to be
Hannah's such
teams.
a guiding presence in this movie. So wise. Very
Also hilarious that she's completely drugged out on like the final
I was gonna
sequence
say,
of this movie.
Last 45, she was high as balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam said it earlier as well too, but like really, when we talk about zombie movies nowadays, it's like there's Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the Romero version.
Yeah.
And then there's this in terms of like influences, like genuinely.
Yeah.
And to Adam's point, like I think so many people don't realize how influential this movie is.
I certainly didn't.
Absolutely. And that's a testament to kind of Adam's knowledge of film, right, and cinema. And then seeing this is awesome because you're seeing it in the reverse way. So now you can see this and apply it to like all the other shit you've seen. It's like, oh my God, they actually got this from 28 Days Later. So yeah,
I think
this film has moved a lot of weight, which is why they're getting a fucking sequel 23 years later.
If I was,
you know what I mean?
If I was like curating this, I would go 28 days. I would go Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, Dawn of the Dead remake, 28 weeks later, Train to Busan.
Train to Busan is awesome.
I still need to see that one.
Yeah, that movie is awesome.
Probably the other.
I will always be a big fan of World War Z,
and that's the other dark horse. World War Z. World War Z
Yeah.
fucking rocks. Like it's way better than it should be. Like
Yeah.
I think it's also.
Zombieland
I
is a
agree with that.
fun
It's
take
much
on
better
a
than it should be.
humorized one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ty, go ahead.
Zombieland is great as a black comedy. Like it's the perfect zombie spoof, right?
Yeah.
That's where it should be too. Ooh, are we
Yeah.
making the zombie canon? Are we doing that right now?
One of the other funny ones too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again, Adam. I know you've been trying to get this thought out, but I'll forget about it. Shaun of the Dead is also one that I constantly go back to.
Obviously.
Yeah. Also take place in London.
True.
Yes.
True. Adam, what were you saying?
What were you gonna say, brother?
Thank you. I think it's a testament to this movie that like when I see we talked about this with like Paranormal Activity a little bit of and even Blair Witch to an extent too, of like it's hard for you to kind of appreciate this movie because I've already seen a lot of this movie in other movies. And it's hard to like, appreciate this movie for what it is and what it was when it came out. But I think the fact that like I really enjoy this, I think this movie stands the test of time despite The Walking Dead ripping his thing off directly, despite me seeing running zombies in other movies, despite, the kind of like humans being the enemy, the true thing to fear kind of trope thing. Like the fact that this movie pioneered all of those and is still this good and still does it at the top of that, at the top of those tropes like that, it still has some of the best of that. I think it's just a testament to how good this movie really is. That's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the London Black Cabs.
Absolutely, man. This is. I can't stress how happy I am though that Adam likes this. You know what I mean? I was a little. I was a little worried. I mean, I knew this film carries a lot of weight in the genre, and you now have some credentials in the genre, right? In the knowledge of the genre, so I figured you'd be able to pick up on them. But I was like, I don't know, is he gonna like dissent it, or like he likes the dissent, but is he gonna high tension it, where he's like, this is fucking horrible? I don't know. I don't know where Adam's at when we go back to early 2000s horror movies. I don't know.
Fair points.
I'm so mad
it's a different type of horror
that movies don't look like this nowadays. Like, what the fuck happened to lighting, guys?
The rain looks so good in this movie.
Yeah, genuinely. That's what I was talking about. Like
that
this
is something
last
I did think to
30 minutes of like just the rain sheeting down and like the
and
black
it's dark
and
outside,
white.
but I can see what's happening.
Bro, like it is that thing of like we talked about this with Rain of Fire as well too, but just like fuck, man, like we are losing recipes, gang.
We really are. We really are, man.
Yeah.
When did we forget how to light a scene and color correct it and like and edit? All right, let's rank this.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah,
but while we're closing that out, though, Adam, I would say I encourage you. I'm sure we'll get to the second one, of course, before we get to the third one
very
in real time.
How good is the second one compared to this one?
I mean, I like the second one. Like I said, that's a very strong nostalgia tie for me in terms of seeing that in theaters with my dad.
It's another one of those 28 weeks later has no business being as good as it does. Like coming out 5 years after the first one with this it's like if the first
I would definitively go ahead.
I was gonna say if like the first is like an 8, the second one's like a 6.5, 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would definitively say that the first one is better, but the second one is solid. It's got an all-star cast.
Yeah, super interesting.
Second cast is crazy. You're gonna watch and be like, holy shit, they got everybody in this film. It's got a young Imogen Poots in it. Who we obviously love from Green Room.
It's got a young,
she's like the main character at like 13 years old.
It's got a pre-Hurt Locker Jeremy Renner. So it was like he hadn't made it big yet.
It's got Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. Robert Carlyle. Yeah. No, it's just it's genuinely a good movie. And like it's another one of those ones where like it shouldn't be good, but it just is.
Yeah. And
wait, who directs that one?
Ooh, I don't believe it's Danny Boyle.
It's Alex Garland. Alex Garland actually takes that.
No,
it's another guy.
I think it's I think it's one
Juan
of the weird
Carlos
things though where
Fresnel-Dilo.
Yeah, but I think the
Garland.
lore behind it is that it was technically Alex Garland who did the writing and the directing, right?
But like that
people
guy
would kind of credit that as his first film.
He's got another movie that's actually pretty good as well too. Check on his stuff too for me, Adam.
Yeah.
Directing credits. 28 weeks later, Intruders, Falling Water.
Okay, no, it's
TV stuff.
I forgot. He's ass.
Damsel in 24.
He's actually ass. It's because Alex Garland directed it.
And that's why
good.
people think it's Alex Garland's basically de facto opening film.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's that and Dread too. He basically directed Dread, but like it's the same thing.
But Dread's what? Maybe 10, 11?
2013.
13. Okay. And then to kind of add a little more color on that, this has an awesome opening sequence The second one has one of the greatest opening sequences in horror history,
Okay.
without a doubt.
It's high praise coming from you.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't ruin it by the time you see it. But I think that's kind of the consensus. Nathaniel, Tyler, would you all
Yeah.
Would you all agree with that
you.
one?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
28 weeks later, slaps.
Yeah.
All right.
Not as
Well,
strong in totality, but it's still very good.
We have weeks later on the docket before years later down
Need
the
it.
road. So
Need it,
we'll,
man.
we'll get around to it, I'm sure.
Need it.
That being said, then let's get out of spoilers here.
Let's do
Welcome
it.
back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and throw up 28 days later up upon our Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of all the movies we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all in one fantastic list. It's essentially how we rate our movies rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you want to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's a tough one. We don't have a ton of zombie stuff on here, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
I do like this. I do like this film a lot, fellas. I think I'll let it rip first.
Go ahead, Blake.
Okay.
Don't kill me here, boys.
Suspense.
I think I'm gonna go 46.
Okay.
46. So not
46.
crazy high, but we obviously know what 46 means on our Entropy list.
Yeah, 46 Starship Troopers, above Starship Troopers, below No Country for Old Men.
Right. So for color, No Country
That's
for Old Men.
good company.
I wanted to, Ty. I wanted to, but then I was
go
like,
where you want to.
I got to ground myself, though, man. I try to pride myself on being a grounded individual.
So,
well, everything's made up anyway. Stay woke.
That is true. In fact, this Entropy list is made up.
It really is when you think about it.
So, Blake. Civil War was my thing. Our other Alex Garland. And I was like, you know what? This is better than Civil War.
Yeah, for sure.
It. And then I was rolling up, and you came in. What'd we say?
46.
46.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go 53. I'm gonna go right below Kill Bill, right above Training Day.
And that was probably my second placeholder. My floor was seeing Romulus, so and I was like, "This
genuinely, that was my thing too." I was like, "This is better than Romulus. This is my thing. This is better than Romulus." And then I saw Nosferatu as well too, and I was like, "Yep, we're in the right zone." Yep. So, just below Kill Bill, just above Training Day. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Nice. Adam, Ty.
I'm gonna mix. Obviously, you got Starship Troopers up there, which is hard for me to get past. I think this is better than Judas and the Black Messiah. Godzilla -1 is phenomenal.
Yeah.
This is better than Y2 Mama Tambien. Dunkirk, kind of hit or miss for me. And it's not one that I go back to often, even though it is a great film. And then you do have things like Romulus, which I'm always going to be pretty high on. It's part of the Alien series. Alien is lit. And then Spirited Away is something that I hold very special. So I think given the mix between like where you're at and kind of like where I think my bottom is, which is probably Spirited Away, there's enough in there to make me want to put it below Spirited Away. So I'm gonna go at 57, below Spirited Away, above It Follows.
Okay. Valid. Spirited Away, very impactful movie.
Yeah.
So good.
Can't be too mad at that ranking.
Adam, the floor is yours, my man.
I really want to put this higher than I'm gonna have it, but I don't think I can. Just because it's like there are movies above this movie that I would absolutely put over on a personal entropy list. Or put this movie over on a personal entropy list. But that there's this killer row of Civil War, Gone Girl, Nope, John Wick, Longlegs, Conjuring, Nosferatu. Like that is a wall that is, you got to be pretty damn good to clear for me. Civil War especially being probably my second favorite movie of 2024 behind
Sure.
Dune 2. And if Dune 2 didn't come out, would have been head and shoulders above everything else. So I'm going to probably put this just below Civil War. I think I'll give the edge to this over Suzume, although it kind of depends on the day on which I'd give that. But I'll give this, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt on that one. So I'll put it at 68, below Civil War and above Suzume, right next to the other Alex Garland film, or one of the other.
I figured Civil War would be your hard cap. I know you're very fond of that movie.
I really do like that movie quite a lot. And I will stand by that. Gives us an average ranking of 56 flat, which means we do have to tie break it. That doesn't mean tie break.
Oh my God, it's below Romulus. Sick. We're
so we have to tie break
recipes, fellas.
Away.
That's gonna look insane somewhere.
Yeah, Romulus is
just out of context,
a tad bit high, but that's okay.
I agree. I
like that movie.
Although
don't get me wrong.
the ending of that movie is awesome, though.
Again, I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be as high as it is, but that's okay. 28 Days Later, above or below Spirited Away.
Yeah, Nathaniel, for context, where we're at right now, via math, of course, we're actually below Alien Romulus.
Actually,
personally, we got to be above Alien Romulus for this one.
And that's why once I heard the number, I was like, "That's unfortunate, guys. I don't think we can."
Executive.
I can't co-sign this.
I'm okay executive ordering this above Alien Romulus. Yeah. Obviously, executive orders have a lot of weight these days.
It's a 28 Days Later didn't resurrect a dead hero. Actor for us.
I agree, fellas.
Yeah.
So if we're putting it at 55 or breaking the average ranking rule here. Yeah.
I feel like,
I mean, if there's one to break the rule on, this is qualified.
The exception that proves the rule.
As long as 3 out of 4 of us are okay with it, I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it.
Oh, aren't you one of the 3 though?
Yeah. I guess 3 out of 4 of us have to agree that 3 out of 4 of us can't agree.
I know, it's just funny. The way that it sounded, it was funny.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm fine with it.
I like Alien Romulus, but I can't put this below it. Like,
I really don't see the point in calling it a rule break as long as we have majority, which we do. I think all 4 of us agree. So I really don't see the point. It's cool. Not a rule break. It's just how it is.
55 then, above Alien Romulus and below the Northman. Sounds good to me, man. Cool. Well, there you have it. 28 Days Later slotted in there at 55. That's it for this review. Our next review is we're gonna go back out to theaters, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting you back out into the theater for a new movie. I don't even know when this officially came
Snow
out.
White.
The release date
is actually what we're seeing.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh no, brother.
Probably not. It just came out this past weekend. Awesome. A movie called The Assessment. Not one that I had been shown a lot of advertisements or anything for, but one that my friends wanted to see and we're talking about. And I was like, I'll go sit. Like, obviously, I've got A-list, so you don't have to ask me twice to go to AMC. Sat down, thoroughly enjoyed this film, and saw it yesterday. And it's one of those movies like I'm still thinking about it. Like there's still something in the back of my mind, like processing it, kind of thing. So I don't want to say too much more than that. Don't necessarily have to go in blind to this movie, but I'd recommend it. I think it's got some intrigue to it that wouldn't be bad to go in blind. So yeah, go ahead, check out The Assessment in theaters, and then join us for our review of that next week. What we're watching, fellas? Anybody got anything quick they want to talk about?
The only thing I will say that we forgot last week was when you and Justin and Floyd were here the time before this past weekend. I got to show you a couple episodes of Initial D, which if I get to show anybody that, that's always
Initial D,
a big win for me. So
Initial D.
Initial D.
Which I did enjoy.
It takes at least 5 episodes to sink into. Don't worry.
And I can understand that. With all the things that I have to watch these days, I can't promise that I will go back in the near future to watch that currently, but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I
enjoy
don't
what I
mind
watched.
if you do or do not. I love to. You're obviously an anime advocate. You're not somebody that would shit on anime just because it's anime.
Yeah.
So, I'm just glad I got to show it to you, and the fact that I got to see your reaction between like the very first like 2 or 3 episodes that we watched, and then I did show him a random episode in like stage 4.
Sure, yeah.
Just to give him an idea of where the animation goes, because that is a factor for some people.
100%.
And so obviously this was made in the 90s the first time around, so it's hard to see that every now and then, but yeah, I think you were pleasantly surprised with the animation.
I was.
Switch up, so
yeah,
I
it was
shouldn't
cool.
even say switch up, development.
And it's also one that I know is very, as you already said, near and dear to you, and Nathaniel also has picked up on it and is pretty close to him too. So like, it was cool to get a visual on like that kind of show for you. So
Got me into cars.
yeah,
Genuinely.
Love it.
racing.
Rubbing is racing. Can anybody tell me what
watch
that's from?
Shanghai?
Is that Days of Thunder?
It is Days of Thunder, dude. Let's go. I said rubbing is racing.
I would not have gotten that.
Yeah, that's above my head.
And then the Chinese Grand Prix. Okay, I'm done. Blake, go.
Shanghai.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were still going. That's
No. I wasn't really. You were already kind of going, but you said we were talking about cars, and I was like, oh yeah, races. Go.
Gotcha. Yeah, the only thing I saw that I guess I'm willing to put out here is I didn't catch much, but I did watch a movie that we're all very fond of. It's ranked pretty high on the Entropy list. It's one of my favorite films post-COVID.
9 days.
Yeah. That was my next hint was going to be Adam likes it a lot as well. So I did watch that with Haley the other day. And
300.
How'd she like it?
She loves that movie.
Dude,
she loves
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Wait, had she seen it?
No, she's never seen it, never heard of it.
Awesome.
It was just like, you want to watch a good movie? You know what I mean? And we put it on. And yeah, she was balling at the end of it. I've seen it 3 times. I've cried every time I watch it. It's a phenomenal movie. It's very powerful.
So we were talking about
me
moving out before the podcast started. So my 2 roommates that I will move in with, like pretty big movie guys, both of them.
Okay.
Like one of them, Danny is one of them. Nathaniel met Danny briefly before he ran away to get sushi.
My dude likes sushi.
Long story. Anyway, but I've been like subtly hyping up 9 days to them, where I'm like, you guys are really both gonna love this movie. And I don't want you to know anything about it. And like one day, either before we move in and it's just the 3 of us, or after, like we're gonna sit down and watch it. And you guys are really get like I'm really excited to show you this movie. And it's definitely one of those.
Can't wait
love that movie.
For the next one of those movies to come into my life, where I'm excited to show it to people. Even if it's just something like fucked, like Green Room, I'm just like, yeah, wait till you get to sit down and watch this shit. Or when it's super.
I show everybody Dune too. I don't know what you're waiting for.
Yeah, same. That is mine. Wait till you get this 5.5 hour experience.
I'm glad I'm not friends with you outside of this podcast.
Yeah, me too.
In the real world.
But you know what? Me and Ty, we're gonna run back
virtual.
Dune 2 next this Friday, next Friday, whenever it is.
Let's just say we gotta. My wife needs me, so we're gonna have to have a couple of weekends. Plus, her birthday's on Thursday, so she's kind of got me on lock
valid
for the next
all
week.
Good. All right. Well, next time I'm at your place, we're running Dune 2. I don't care fully.
I could watch like the Gladiator bit. Like that's really cool. But that's probably the highlight
in black and white.
Yeah, but you need context really. So you got to kind of start at the beginning of Dune Part 1, and then you got to watch that all the way up.
No, I don't
up
think
to that
so.
Scene.
I think I could just watch that scene if you could just like insert that into like the first Gladiator movie. Like that, I think it'd be fine.
Maybe the second one. It seems a
Yeah, it
little
would
cheap.
probably help
one,
the second one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, where's
It would help
that
the first
ranked?
one,
That
let's be
might be
honest.
ranked too high, fellas. Where's that second Gladiator?
That movie's okay. That
It's
movie's
pretty
like
low.
we had
That
it
movie's, that
appropriately
movie's
ranked.
ass
I
in
think
hindsight.
it's not ass. I don't think it's ass.
I will
just think
never
it's not
watch that
great.
over. I'll just rewatch the first Gladiator 11 out of 10 times.
It's
What did we before I
138.
ever turn that on?
That's a fine.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
it's-
That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
It's above Conjuring 2 though, which I think is maybe a little low.
I would also
And it's
watch.
above Late Night
It's
with
above
the
The
Devil
Last Duel,
and The
which is fair.
Creator. Okay, maybe it's not that it's too low. It's that these other movies are too low.
See,
don't know.
I think I'd rather watch the first season of Spartacus before I'd watch the second Gladiator
Oh,
again.
Spartacus is dope.
Yeah, Spartacus is great.
yeah. That's one. I don't know, man. When we have this yearly amendment coming up,
I'm with you,
Maybe some
Blake.
votes on
I'm
that
with you,
thing.
Blake.
Gladiator.
You want to move Gladiator down?
No, not. I don't want to move Gladiator down. I want to move Gladiator down.
Oh, Gladiator. My bad. Can I move
We'll
Dune
see
2
if-
up?
stop.
No, but if anybody tries to move it down, we can veto it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, moving it down sounds like a great option.
Yeah. Is there? I'm
Never
trying to think.
gonna
Is there
get 2
anything
out
we
of
could
3.
like potentially move to 1?
Nope.
No.
Not that it'll get approved.
Not,
Wait,
not on my
I
watch.
was gonna say,
As long as I'm
my
calling the
watch.
shots
maybe
in
maybe
here.
Blade Runner 2049.
Nathaniel
Yeah,
might
like-
be able
like
to
what's the-
convince you, but I don't know if he'll be able to convince me.
Now, Nathaniel opens a good topic of discussion, though. So, like, what's the actual credibility behind this? So, for example, Blade Runner 2049 is at 21. Could we actually move that to 1, or like, are there stipulations of?
I mean,
We've
I
got
feel
good
like
movies going all the way
As
down
long
to,
as you
like,
get 2 out of 3, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay. All right.
Will you
3 out
get
of-
2 out of
3 out
3?
of-
Probably
4.
not. Probably not. No, it's 2 out of 3 of the opposing of the other.
Oh,
3 members.
yourself can't vote, of course. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah,
You are your vote essentially.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what you're advocating
Yeah.
for. So it's got to be 2 out of the 3 people you're proposing it to.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to win Tyler over.
As
I
long
think
as- yeah.
Adam's hell bent.
Tyler, as long as we
Adam's
hold
never
the
changing.
line, all right. Just
Yeah, I mean,
hold the
Adam's
line.
just really
keep
dialing
the-
all in on Tyler here, though. Like he's like, "Oh, I need this other person to hold the line with
Yeah.
me. I can't do it
Right.
myself.
But,
I
like,
can't convince other people. I've just got
But
to
hear me out though. If
I don't
if
have
you
to do
tempt
the
Tyler with
convincing.
Lord of the Rings, though, I
Right?
think he'd agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
if
man,
there's no rules,
Return
You
of
guys
the
are
King
really gonna
really
mess up the
is
integrity of
just
this.
such a good movie.
yeah,
It's really
we're
just
playing
a
with fire
building. If
here.
anything, like
You
the
guys are just playing
Oscars
with
supported this theory as well too.
This is gonna end up being like trading and like free agency. Like, you guys
100%,
have to
yeah.
you guys have to give me something. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
okay with putting Return to the King at 1, but,
But
in
I want
return,
Pan's Labyrinth up back
I-
up at
I
number
am
2 again
also-
as well. Yeah.
I'm also gonna need a solid guarantee that in the next 3 years you guys commit to making sure that the other Lord of the Rings get up to the top
Yeah,
5 as well.
I need Spirited Away to get higher as well. I can't
Yeah.
guarantee Lord of the Rings, but I'll give you Spirited Away.
that's funny as hell. We'll figure it out.
Who's what we're watching?
I think it was
Blake,
me.
you said 9 days.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Blake.
that was just mine. Yeah, that was my quick snip. That
Alright,
went
cool.
on an entropy list
Well,
tangent.
Yeah,
Nathaniel?
I'm happy for Haley for watching that movie for the first time.
Yeah,
It's
I
great.
think
Thanks, man.
maybe in the bit of sizzle ahead of pod or after, I was talking about I've been watching sumo. Obviously, it's great.
Mhm.
Everyone should watch sumo. Been watching. I didn't watch the UFC this week. I watched not a lot of movies. I've been watching The Pit. Obviously, The Pit rules still. The Pit.
Okay.
And Severance. I think I'm 2
just started.
episodes behind the season finale. So, yeah, I understand that season 2 is all built into that. So I'm working my way up there. Haven't loved season 2, but I know a lot of people really, really like it. But it's just
That's surprising. Everyone has really liked it from what I've talked about.
I thought it was
or what I've
okay.
heard.
Yeah, I thought it's been okay, but it hasn't been one that like I come back every week. Like The Pit has been the one that I'm looking forward to Thursdays, and obviously Righteous Gemstones.
Mm.
Righteous Gemstones on Sundays. I don't know if I've talked enough about Righteous Gemstones. It's maybe the only comedy I consistently watch at this point. It's the best. Fucking love Righteous Gemstones. Everyone should watch it. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I think that's it for all of us.
No, I watched The Town for the first time last night.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Fellas, I'm not gonna lie.
Good movie. Heist movies.
Good movie. A tad bit overhyped for me. I liked it. I thought it was solid, but everyone talks about The Town. Like it's like.
No, I think Ben Affleck's had better directed movies since that one. But I think that was the first one where everyone was like, "Oh shit, Ben Affleck's actually a good director."
I can see that. I can see that for sure. And it's got some good moments. It's got some good scenes, and it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's bad by any means, but it's just one where my expectations were here, and it fell a little bit below.
Yeah.
But that was also where we had like Jeremy Renner in The Hurt Locker, and then The Town was like his next one after that, where I was like, "Oh shit, that boy can act." Kind of thing. So that's definitely part of it too. I think.
And I can definitely see that for sure. But yeah, besides that, I haven't really watched myself. So watched part of the Shanghai Grand Prix, but like not enough to talk about it. Anyway, I think that'll do it. We can get on out of here. Thank you all for listening. Please do us a favor and share the podcast, share with a friend, a family member, or a fellow apocalypse survivor.
That's right.
There you have it.
If this is all you have in the future, is this podcast, make sure to share it. We could still be out there.
You can't share anything else.
Still producing episodes. Yeah.
We're at Tyler's Lake House.
Tyler's grandpa's lake house.
Tyler's grandpa's.
Two of us know how to get to.
And a third of us knows the general vicinity.
I know enough. You wouldn't find me on the first day, but on the second week, I would be like rolling in afterwards and be like, "Hey, Tyler!"
I'd be there week 3 or 4. Yeah. I think I could find it.
I could find his way down there because his mom lives somewhere down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But once he gets off the highway, there's no shot.
I could find the lake. And then I think I could find the place from the lake. Like I might not show up at
the old Friday the 13th.
Charter a boat.
Yeah, I might take out someone else's boat and like
it would make sense that you could recognize it from the water.
Yeah,
though,
like
that's where we
like us style. I would just I would take out someone else and then take their boat out into the lake.
Yeah, right.
While you're sharing the podcast, follow us on Twitter, Banter Row. Our YouTube is just Back Row Banter, and our email is just backrowbanterpod@gmail.com if you want to send us one of those. Nathaniel Gingrich, where can the people find you at, my man?
Yeah, if you're in the post-apocalypse, you can find me at the lake. I'm not going to tell you where that is. If you know, you know. But pre-apocalypse, you can find me on Instagram and Letterboxd, and my Twitter's not really working anymore, so Blue Sky.
You refuse to update it to X, yeah?
Yeah. No, it's been down for a week, and I just won't do it. My life has not gotten arguably better, but so all those people that say getting rid of social media makes your life better, they're wrong. But I at least don't have to listen to what Elon Musk wants to say a bunch, so that's good.
That's true.
I'd also argue for the fact that it means like all social media, not just the platforms you don't like, and then you'd probably see a little bit of an uptick.
Yeah, that could be part of it too. Yeah, after I get rid of Twitter, there's really not much left. I don't think I haven't been on Facebook other than to answer messages in years, and Instagram is really, unless I'm putting books up, who knows. But
I think I saw you log into MySpace like last week. I think
that was just to change my top 8, but that's
bet.
With that being said, I'm gonna kick it on over to Tyler.
You can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and X, all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. Adam.
You can find me on Twitter. Because mine works, and I'll update my app like a normal person. You can find me on Twitter at H24 and on Letterboxd at H, where I continue my streak of reviewing what I'm watching, and I'm dabbling with different concepts of what I want my reviews to look like.
Oh wow. Visual art
'Cause
or like,
not visual art. I want to do one-line reviews. I don't want to have to I want some kind of like
you're
bit
trying to get
almost.
Letterboxd famous, and that's
I don't need that. I don't do it for anyone else but my followers, which is mainly just the 3 of you and Ryan Foley. So I just want something fun
those are
to
my
do on
followers
Letterboxd.
too.
Yeah, I know it's literally just the 5 of us on our island, all right?
And 4 of us watch
but-
the same movie every week.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I'm toying with my to what I want my Letterboxd reviews to look like. Maybe I'll just
All right,
start
well,
doing them.
you make
it won't
one
be a
sentence
big
reviews.
thing
I'm gonna
anyway,
make 2 sentence reviews. Blake, see if you can get 3.
For each movie? Ooh.
3
Yeah, I mean,
sentences.
we could do it. We could
Seth
do it.
Rogen.
Better than
You're the
IMDb.
Seth
You're the
Rogen
English
makes me
master's
sad.
degree
I don't
fucking
like
guy,
pickles.
And I gotta write 4-sentence reviews.
Yeah. I think that's actually the hard one. The 4 sentences. Like, okay, now
Okay.
this is actually challenging.
Sure, Tyler, you trade me. You can do 2. I'll do 4. I'll handicap this for myself.
Yeah.
As long as
No, I'm
get
doing the
to
old school. I'm doing 5 words, 5-word reviews.
Yeah.
5 words. Every review is Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale, and then whatever
the movie's about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby McConaughey, Christian Bale, Infection.
God, these are some that's a lore gotta be here every week bit, but you know what? It's the end of the podcast, and I think it is just the people who are here every week that are still
for
listening.
sure.
So I'm not mad about it. I think Blake, you're the last one with plugs. Yeah, get us on out of here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Letterboxd BlakeHolder on there. Log some things, rate them out of 5 stars. PSN, Mr. Water Coolers, Xbox, Mr. Water Coolers. That's all we got. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. Please spread the word. And we welcome all new viewership and listenership. Yeah. See you next week. We'll BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Adam, you still keeping up with March Madness, man? Or did you throw the towel in
A decent
after?
amount.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely lost the enthusiasm a little bit. I mean, I'm keeping up with it. In my brackets, pretty much both of them are pretty much done. So
You know what?
I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping tabs. I'm not. I've been watching Michigan State play. I've been watching a few games here and there, but it's not.
Did they win
I'm
last
not
night?
locked in.
Or
They
two,
did.
2 nights ago? Last night.
Yeah, last night.
Okay.
You know what never lets you down is the sumo.
Yeah.
Is that just on every day?
So every 2 months, it's 14 days in a row. So
Okay.
like that's
Holy crap.
that's like okay. So now you're interested, right?
So that's it's just a 14-day tournament. in
Exactly.
essence, right?
Every month, yeah.
Okay.
So you get your ranking, and then every 2 months you have they have the pro tournament, and it's ranks 14 through 1. There's 2 of each. There's one on the east side and one on the west side, and then there's like 3 titles above that, and then one kind of class, and then there's like an ultra class almost. So there's a Yokozuna who is like the number 1 dude. He can't drop below Yokozuna. He's like the number 1 guy, and he'll be that until he either retires or is done. And then there's like Ozeki, who is like they're trying to become an Yokozuna, which to do that you have to win 20 out of 30 bouts in 3 tournaments. So you have to basically go like 11-2 and 11-4 and like 11-4 in a row. to qualify. Then you got to do it twice again to become a Yokozuna. So I was like, it's fucking hard. Yeah. And so like that, and that's why like almost no one makes it basically. But then anyone below that, like you're just fighting everybody, like every tournament the whole time. And you can't, you like, if you take a break, you drop in ranking. So you can drop out of the top 20. And like, if you, like your record is your record, there's no off season. So like once you become a pro, if you like get fucked the first tournament, you're starting 0-15 and there's, you got to crawl back out of that as well too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. I personally, like, I kind of love it. Like, I obviously, as I've talked about a bunch of times, like I like the time in between tournaments is enough time, and then it's like when it comes back, it's just like I'm just watching, and like, you know, I don't watch every day. I generally like take 2 or 3 days to kind of build up because the highlights are only 30 minutes a piece, and each bout is like 60 seconds. So then I can like knock out like 3 in a day, kind of thing. But yeah, it's the best. Love sumo.
Yeah, that's crazy. What time is that usually on though? Are you usually watching that at like?
Well, it's all on
fucking
YouTube,
1
dude.
a.m.?
It's all on YouTube. So
I guess that makes sense.
It pops up like it shows up at like 6 a.m. and I get to like before work. I got 30 minutes. You know, I'm eating my breakfast. I just watch that before I go to bed.
Is it a live stream?
It's not a live stream, no, but it's the highlights. So and like again, because each bout it lasts like a maximum of 60 seconds, like the highlights are only take 30 minutes to go through, basically.
Yeah, right.
And then you got the whole day. It's great.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Big fan of sumo. It's the best.
Now, Adam, do you think they've pushed sumo over to the sporting betting, right? Sports betting.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you could.
Like, that's on DraftKings right now.
I don't think so. I think Japan.
check.
I think Japan would be like, "Fuck you, you can't." Like,
I don't
not
think
without
they.
paying
I don't
them.
think they can stop. I don't think they can stop me.
You try.
Yeah, they can't stop America. Huh? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I don't even like. The odds would be crazy because how do you
I bet on sumo?
How do you bet on one guy who can't lose ranking? Like if the number one guy can't drop below number one, like.
All right, Google AI or no, this is not Google AI. This is just a summary. Okay. Yes, betting on sumo wrestling is a very popular practice in Japan, where there are lots of sites and bookmakers that take gambles on sumo matches.
Good luck trying to
However,
find it
betting
outside of Japan.
100% might be more limited, so we recommend sticking to accredited local betting shops while in Japan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right, well,
Try to take down the monoculture, bro. Good luck.
I was say in Japan, it's got to be very popular because
100%.
there's still tons of people going into debt over gambling in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Japan also is like, oh,
Very
you
true,
guys,
John.
you want to get our shit outside of Japan? Good fucking luck.
Yeah, fuck out of here for sure. Good for them.
Also, yeah, like the sumo like organization is like one of the oldest, most like corrupt in like history as well too, because it's been like they have history going back to like the year 1100. Like at a certain point, the people that study it, they're like, oh yeah, these are more like folk heroes than they are actual people, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the Yakuza's probably had their hands in that for God knows how long.
It's like it'd be like oh yeah, our greatest American wrestler Paul Bunyan, like that. It's like that kind of like level.
Quick insert here. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording, but I mean, obviously, this is
I
all
can make sure to
pre-pod.
cut.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. I did text Tay though, and I was like, "We're recording." Nathaniel just said y'all ran into each other over the weekend, and Tay was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I was at the bookstore. I was at the store."
Yeah.
And then he's like, I looked up and thought to myself, he's like, this motherfucker looks mad familiar, and then it clicked after like 5 seconds.
100%, same reaction.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah. Sumo doesn't let you down. Not the way that March Madness does.
Yeah. That's true, Adam. Are there any games on tonight?
No.
Okay.
They're taking their
they start back up
break to
tomorrow?
the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
not till Thursday.
They got to
I
travel
think.
locations now, right?
Yeah, everyone switches around. I think they start back up on Thursday.
Sure.
So realistically, like if I was a billionaire and I like had an island and I was like, I want to host the March Madness tournament, like how long until we're at that point, right?
Oh.
March Madness hosted by Amazon. Jeff Bezos has his
the thing
own.
is, there's only a handful of people who could do it, let alone actually do it.
Yeah, but what? Like, when is a billionaire gonna actually do something fucking cool for once, right? Like all this shit of like, I want to own everybody. No, man. Like, give me actual gladiator battles or some shit. Like, if I'm gonna be living in this shit, I want like the Running Man or something. Like, you know. These billionaires suck. They're just boring.
They made $1 billion, Nathaniel. That's not cool for you?
No,
That's
it's
not.
not.
Cool enough?
Nah, it's not. Because you know what? I could be a 100 millionaire and buy an island and make people do sports on it. And I'm mad that no one else is doing it at this point. Saudi Arabia is the only one that's trying.
I'd be giving so much money away.
I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
they don't know what to do with it.
Donating like crazy.
This opens up a discussion to one of my favorite podcast segments I've seen on a podcast I listen to, and they what is it called? Bear with me.
That's a cool podcast name. Bear with me.
I was about to make that same joke, but I was already away from the mic.
It's gotta be a thing.
Sorry, it's
already out there.
Not That Serious Podcast is what it's called. Sorry, I had to look at my Spotify. But they had a segment one time of talking about just like how lame billionaires are, and then it got onto a segment of like how lame Batman is when you break it down. And it was like, imagine all the other cool things Batman could be doing, but instead he's beating up on like mentally ill people.
And just petty criminals and shit.
Funny.
Dude's just trying to make ends meet. Like, yeah. Like, fuck you, man. My union dues got denied. Like,
yeah, right.
Batman beats the fuck out of you, puts you in the hospital.
But yeah, moral of the story, man. Yeah, we need more cool things from the billionaires, Bezos, Elon Musk, all those guys.
Yeah, whole fucking like, oh yeah, we're going to space. Fuck shit. You.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know, after seeing those astronauts come back, space doesn't really look that cool.
Yeah, right,
bud. That was only 9 months.
That was like my favorite thing when like they sent William Shatner up to space, and they were like, "Oh, he's like the Star Trek captain. Like he's gonna go out there and like be like boldly go where we want to go." And like he went out and came back and was like, "It's empty. There's nothing out there. I'm so scared now. Like everyone, just please take care of each other." Like it mentally broke him.
Yeah, we're floating on a rock.
Yeah.
So many things outside of our control.
And that goes to the point earlier, Adam, where there's just when you really break it down, everything is just made up. When you really think about it, which is crazy,
and nothing matters.
And we're choosing to make it like this, which is the fucked up bit.
Yeah, yeah. There were so many other like paths we could have gone down with humanity.
Yeah. We were like, no, let's make 15 people control everything because they just happen to have the made up money.
Yeah, I can't believe we chose this life.
A funnier joke for space and people going out there is if, you know, like you did the whole like, we like Patrick Stewart went out to space in Star Trek and he came back in a wheelchair as Dr. X, you know, fuck it.
Professor?
Nope. Dr. X. Dr. Malcolm X. Went out to space.
Wow, he not only changed his name, he appropriated Malcolm X's. All right, cool.
Imagine that X-Men timeline where Professor X is
Malcolm X. Magneto's Dr. King.
Infinite timeline.
But Dr. X is played by Denzel.
Yeah, 100%. And Martin Luther King's still David Oyelowo or whatever from Selma a few years ago. Yeah.
That's funny, man. There is another timeline out there.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah, that is the universe. Absolutely. Which is crazy.